I wonder if I could whip up an army.
Hey, Dr. Mama Bosco, can we ask you a few questions?
Can it wait? I'm very busy trying to figure out where all these Sams came from.
It'll only take a minute.
Fine.
I'm sure Bosco will be okay.
Yeah, a Las Vegas wedding will be just the thing to center his restless spirit.
I wish that were true, but I just know this'll all end in tears.
And lawsuits.
And shirtless raids by the police.
Max and I were taking a closer look at those underground cloning tanks.
Yes?
And they've got Bosco Tech written all over them.
That's horrible. Someone must have snuck into my lab and stolen all my cloning equipment.
Who do you think broke into your lab to steal all your cloning equipment?
Well, whoever wanted an army of Sam clones, obviously.
Well, duh, Sam.
Got any ideas on how to stop the clones?
No. Not really.
What are you doing?
Same as you two. I'm trying to find out who's behind all these clones.
Hey, Dr. Mama, we got some mail from Baby Bosco.
Really? Hold it up for me so I can read it. $20,000? Roscoe Bosco, what sort of hustle have you gotten yourself into? If anyone ever finds out I was hired to build those clone tanks, I'm done for.
Mama B?
Yes?
Give it up, Mama Bosco. We know someone paid you to build those cloning tanks.
Who was it? Stinky? Paperweight? Professor Plum?
I don't know. All I know is, a few months ago, an anonymous donor wired me $1 bajillion in exchange for a few hundred of my experimental cloning tanks. I knew it was shady, but times are tough for a single dead mother with a money-hemorrhaging research lab. So I took the gig and looked the other way.
Another victory for unregulated capitalism.
This anonymous donor, anything you can tell us about him?
Turn-offs, turn-ons, the last 4 digits of his social security number?
We only spoke over the phone. He had a creepy, high-pitched voice.
Sam, you don't think it could be the soda?
Don't even think it, little buddy. Anything else you can remember about the mastermind who bought all those clone tanks?
Aside from the squeaky voice, no. Oh, and he paid me in cash. Really old cash.
Now that we've established that the clones came out of your machines, is there any way we can shut them down?
Well, there should be a biometric override built into all of my clone control centers. But
Oh, I hate the sound of your butts.
my handprint is the only one that can activate the override.
But without a body, you don't have handprints.
Or the right to vote.
About that override. If we could clone a body for you, could you activate the biometric control?
That's
Bug-loving insane?
absolutely brilliant. Of course, it'll have to be a perfect clone with 100% of my DNA.
No problem. Got any lying around?
Only this. As far as I know, this is the only remaining sample of my DNA in the world, and even this is only 99% complete. You'll either have to find some more or get some DNA from one of my family members so I can do a splice job.
No problem. Consider yourself cloned. Say, would some of your son's DNA work to fill in the gaps in your DNA sample?
Sure. Good luck finding any, though.
So all we have to do is plunk your DNA sample into your clone cooker, and bingo bango, brand new Dr. Mama Bosco body, right?
No. First, you have to find some more Bosco DNA to fill in the gaps in the sample.
Say, would some of your son's DNA work?
Sure. Good luck finding any, though.
Whee!
Hey, this letter's practically swimming in Bosco's saliva. Could it be used to fill out your missing DNA?
That might work. Yeah, sure, give it a shot. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
I love it when scientists say that.
Where'd this incomplete DNA sample of yours come from, anyway?
I sent Harry over to Arlington to dig some up. He says it came from a lock of my hair.
And you believe him?
I prefer not to think about it.
(0001). This must be where the first clone came out.
Unless our mastermind counts backwards, or in base I, or is dyslexic.
It's a box of useless junk.
Or is it?
No, it's pretty much useless.
Oh, what now? Get rid of them!
You again?
If we could just...
We gotta get in there, Sam!
Why? I mean, other than the generic amusement of antagonizing people.
I think Monsieur Paperweight's mysterious boss, Dr. Norrington, is in there.
And?
And I need to thank him for helping me out against Sam and Mac.
Let's see. Foot, snake, squiggle squiggle, bird. Done!
We probably should have guessed that one. Still remember the code?
I'll have you know I've got a mind like a steel tramp.
Trap.
Really? Huh. A steel tramp would be a lot more fun in a bum fight.
Ah! Don't look at me!
Oh, come on. You're not that ugly.
You don't understand. Human minds aren't equipped to comprehend.
Hey, Sam, there's a guy in here!
I'm impressed. Most humans are driven incurably insane by the mere glimpse of my unspeakable visage.
Yeah, well, no offense, but we get more unspeakable visages in our convention swag.
So you're the mysterious Dr. Norrington?
I am known by many names. Among them, Yog-Sothoth, Elder Fiend of the Dark Dimension.
I'm so surprised.
Shocking, true, but not nearly as shocking as the horrific truths I suspect I must now reveal.
What do you have to say about all those creepy tentacles we found in the cloning chamber?
Tentacles?
Yeah, like the ones your boy Paperweight summoned in the museum last night.
Cthulhu's wattle!
Ooh, I'm using that.
Only one such as myself can summon the Cilia of Torment. Whoever's controlling your clones must be awash in the forces of the Dark Dimension.
Did you really just say awash?
The only thing that can properly vanquish matter from the Dark Dimension is the Chthonic Destroyer.
What's the Chthonic Destroyer?
Is it pointy?
The Chthonic Destroyer is the ultimate psychic toy. A weapon so terrible that it was once used to drive the Elder Gods themselves back to their home in the Dark Dimension.
Ah, look, that mole man is smiting an army.
Mind if we hold on to this?
Sam's got a thing for illuminated manuscripts.
If it will help you find the Chthonic Destroyer, yes, of course.
Thanks. I'll try to keep Max from drawing dirty pictures in the margins. Can the Destroyer be used against those tentacles?
The Destroyer is proof against anything from the Dark Dimension. Me, the tentacles, the toy box.
Sam, we gotta get one of these things.
You'll have to find the hidden giggling realm of skittering ingestion if you wish to find the Destroyer.
You and Paperweight seem to know a lot about that Devil's Toy Box that everybody keeps stealing.
The Devil's Toy Box. Ha! You should be so lucky.
What are you talking about?
The toy box is of a power far greater than that of your primitive gods and devils. It is the property of my grandson, Junior.
Junior?
Yes, Junior, the youngest and most horrible of the Elder Gods. His birthing wail shattered the supercontinent of Pangea. His first steps sunk the proto-civilizations of Subarctica.
Junior?
In an effort to stop my rampaging grandchild from destroying the Omniverse, I brought many of my precious childhood keepsakes over from the Dark Dimension to keep Junior distracted and entertained, as well as a box to contain their frightening power.
Junior?
Unfortunately, when the Elder Gods were banished to the Dark Dimension, Junior's toy box was lost during the move, and in the millennia since, he just will not stop whining about it.
Junior?
It's a lot scarier if you've got the requisite complement of larynxes to pronounce it correctly.
So why have the 1.5 of you been trying to get your hands on the toy box all these years?
To destroy it!
But why? It's got all those cool toys that make my brain tingle and my ears all fuzzy.
The toys of power were never meant for mortal hands. For the sake of all that exists, they must be returned to the toy box and annihilated.
You're not gonna take my toys, are you?
Not yet. Your chaotic mastery of the toys of power may yet prove useful in defeating the master of these blasphemous portly canines.
So how did gigantic behemoth of an elder god like you get stuck in panty waist anyway?
Paperweight!
Silence! Several decades ago, Monsieur Paperweight foolishly attempted to summon me to this plane of existence.
Yeah, we, may have heard something about that.
Paperweight's infantile conjurings were doomed to failure, but the uncanny power of your grandsire's brain somehow managed to extrude an infinitesimally tiny fraction of my essence into this dimension. It became fused with Paperweight's unsettlingly hairless and ladylike torso.
We've spent the better part of a century trying to retrieve the toy box and send the great Yog-Sothoth home.
And we would have succeeded last night if you hadn't lost your temper over that slobbering space ape.
Sorry about that. Do you know anything about all these handsome brutes that are stealing toys throughout the city?
The clones are meaningless.
And chubby.
Hey!
But if they are truly stealing toys, then their master may be attempting to gather a complete collection of the toys of power.
Collect all 1,024. Impress your friends.
And destroy the entirety of existence as we know it. You've already borne witness to the damage that can be wrought when the Devil's toy box is mostly full. If the box is completely engorged, its power will tear down the walls of reality itself.
So, aside from tearing apart reality, anything else you think we should know about the Plague of Me?
Only that they should seriously consider a gym membership.
Hold the phone. You're Yog-Sothoth, the world-shattering elder god?
You look like something my non-existent cat coughed up.
Curb your tongue, rabbit!
No, Paperweight, the Naked One is right. This debased form is a pathetic shadow of my former glory. Long before the dawn of man, my kind was sovereign over this dimension and countless others. We welcome the development of sentient life, drinking deeply from your bottomless well springs of terror, and also your succulent hairy flesh.
Ew.
For untold eons, we lapped at the perpetual buffet of your horror and worship, until powerful forces rallied to drive us back to the Dark Dimension.
Forces?
Primitive hybrids somehow impervious to our powers. You know them as mole men.
Get out of here.
Yes, that's exactly what they ordered us to do.
You know, it's a lot harder to take you prehistoric elder gods seriously, now that I know you were banished by a bunch of mole men.
Scoff if you must, but the mole people were much more powerful before they were genetically marginalized by the cruel twists of evolution.
Just like Uncle Billy.
So, should I call you Yog-Sothoth or Norrington?
Call me Dr. Norrington. When uttered by your mortal tongues, my true name sounds disturbingly like our term for number 2.
You should hear him say nuclear.
Stay put. We'll probably have more questions later.
Your kind always does.
Whee!
Can we borrow this?
You most certainly may not. It is so fragile that the slightest breeze destroy it.
But
The scroll is meaningless.
Hey Max, could you spare a few seconds to memorize Paperweight's phone number?